Greetings from the APO Secretariat in Tokyo, and welcome to this quarterly session of productivity trends, or we call it P-Trends, presented by the APO, Asian Productivity Organization. So at the APO, we created P-Trends to help our stakeholders stay agile in a fast-changing environment. Rather than focusing on distant megatrends, we concentrate on emerging productivity signals, early signs of change that may soon influence how economies, industry, and institutions improve performance. To do this, we use signal-based on scanning methodology supported by Futures platform, and we organize our insight using Step V, as we discussed before, a framework that is we are relying in order to generate the signals. So this allows us to track change in a more structured, evidence-based, regionally relevant way. So in today's session, we highlight signals observed between January and March 2026. From thousands of signals gathered and reviewed during that period, we have prioritized 6 emerging trends with the strongest relevance to productivity outcomes and the greatest potential applicability across Asia and Pacific. These trends were selected not only for their timeliness, but also for their likely impact on productivity, their resonance to the region, and their significance as interpreted through expert foresight analysis. What makes these signals important is that they point to real shift already underway. As this session will show, the trend suggests 3 broader implications for APO member economies. One is stronger competitiveness in digital-first Asia, greater resilience amid demographic and climate pressure, and more inclusive and trusted pathways to productivity growth. So in other words, this is not only about what is changing, but also about what those changes may mean for policy, institution, and practical productivity improvement. So if you are joining us during the YouTube premiere, please share your thoughts and question in the live chat below. And if you're watching the reply of this session, we warmly invite you to leave your comments below accordingly. We review your feedback carefully, and it would help to shape the future of the P-Trends sessions. So we are joined today again by Dr. Tuomo Kuosa, Director of Future Research at the Futures platform in Finland. Dr. Kuosa has been working with the APO to translate scattered signals into structured, actionable insight for productivity. Dr. Kuosa, welcome back, and thank you for being with us again.
Thank you very much.
So today, Dr. Kuosa will talk us through 6 emerging productivity trends for January to March 2026, spanning the STEP V categories: social, technological, environmental, economic, political, and values. So Dr. Kuosa, over to you for your sharing.
Yes, thank you. So, yes, so we have carried out scanning via a large set of alternative productivity signals, and our methodology it relies on the Futures platform foresight intelligence system. So it continuously aggregates global signals and expert inputs. We have been focusing on STEP V categories: social, technological, economic, environmental, political, value categories, and specifically alongside with these, or under these, we have the APO productivity domains. So agricultural productivity, green productivity, industrial productivity, and so on. The methodology, basically, how we call it, it's horizon scanning. Horizon scanning, where the smart AI system identifies key changes, key trends, key signals based on the keywording for the specific issues. And the signals have been gathered between January and March 2026. So these are very, very recent from the first quarter, basically first quarter of the year. The relevance to productivity, that's the primary to which we have focused on the scanning. So strong potential to shape productivity outcomes in APO focus areas. But we haven't focused only on Asia-specific changes, signals that are emerging inside Asia. So our focus has been global. So global trends, global signals of change that have the possibility to have strong impact to Asian economies. Foresight intelligence, as said, futures platforms methodology, tool setting has been used here. So it's real-time signal tracking and from thousands of trusted sources. And I'm the responsible researcher who has actually carried out the selection of the signals. Okay, let's go forward. Social category, this is the first one which we will focus. AI-augmented workforce orchestration. This trend reflects a shift from simply using AI tools to actively orchestrating work between humans and AI systems. What is new in early 2026 is that organizations are no longer just deploying AI in isolated tasks. Instead, they are beginning to use AI to dynamically allocate work, deciding in real time which tasks should be handled by humans, which by AI, and how workflows should be sequenced. This is particularly relevant for APO member economies, where labor productivity gaps often stem from inefficiencies in coordination rather than lack of workforce capacity. In sectors like public services, healthcare administration, and business processes outsourcing, this orchestration can significantly reduce idle time, duplication of effort, and delays. Importantly, this is not about replacing workers. It is about augmenting human capability and improving how work is structured. From a policy perspective, this raises new questions. How we define roles in human and AI teams, how we train workers to collaborate effectively with AI. For APO economies, the opportunity lies in improving output without increasing labor input, which is critical in both aging and rapidly growing economies. Then we'll go to technological. From this category, I have selected autonomous process optimization agents. This trend represents the step beyond automation, moving into autonomous improvement systems. Traditionally, productivity improvements required manual analysis, consultants, and audits, process redesign. Now, AI agents are beginning to monitor workflows continuously and make adjustments in real time. What is emerging in early 2026 is the ability of these agents to detect inefficiencies, diagnose root causes, implement improvements, all with minimal human intervention. For example, in service operations, these systems can automatically reroute tasks, adjust workflows, or eliminate bottlenecks as they arise. For APO economies, this is particularly important because many organizations lack the resources for continuous process optimization. These agents effectively provide always-on productivity improvement, which can significantly raise efficiency in both public and private sectors. However, this also introduces challenges. Who is accountable for decisions made by AI, so AI ethics. How do we ensure reliability and transparency? This makes governance frameworks essential, not to slow innovation, but to enable safe and scalable adoption. Then we will go to environmental, the third category. Here I have chosen AI optimized resources loop systems. This trend reflects a major evolution in green productivity, moving from static efficiency improvements to dynamic system-level optimization. In early 2026, we are seeing the emergence of AI systems that continuously monitor and adjust material flows, energy use, waste streams across industrial and urban systems. This is enabled by combining IoT sensors, digital twins, and AI optimizational models. Digital twins actually were a topic which were discussed in quite several signals within the December productivity trend session that I held on that time. So digital twins, that's a very strong emerging issue. The key shift is from linear systems to closed loop adaptive systems. And instead of simply reducing waste, these systems reuse materials, balance energy demand, optimize resources flows in real time. For APO economies, this is highly relevant because many industries are resource intensive. Environmental constraints are tightening. So this trend allows countries to increase productivity while reducing environmental impact, which is the core of green productivity. The challenge lies in integration, data silos, lack of interoperability, fragmented infrastructure. So this integration of these is challenge. Policy can play a critical role by supporting data sharing ecosystems, incentivizing circular economy platforms, and also aligning industrial and environmental strategies. This is one of the most powerful levers for sustainable productivity growth in this environmental area. Next, and by the way, keep in mind that there is the QR code, which is quite easy access to the sources, what we have on the bottom boxes. So usually there is one of the main sources mentioned here, but in some cases there might be two sources. Naturally, there are usually several sources directing to the same development from which to choose. So economic, that's the next one. Signal from economic side. AI native service export models. This trend signals a structural shift in how services are produced and exported globally. Traditionally, service exports such as IT outsourcing or business process services relied heavily on large labor pools. What we are now seeing in early 2026 is the rise of AI native service models, where services are delivered through AI platforms with minimal marginal labor. This means a small team supported by AI can deliver global scale services. Productivity per worker increases dramatically due to that. And for APO economies, this increases both opportunity and disruption. On the opportunity side, we have smaller economies which can enter global service markets without large populations, and high-value services become more accessible. On the challenge side, we have competition which becomes more intense. Value concentrates in those who control platforms and AI capabilities. That's the other challenge side. From a policy perspective, the key question is how can APO economies position themselves in this new landscape. So this includes investing in AI skills, supporting digital service ecosystems, enabling cross-border digital trade. So this trend could redefine comparative advantage in the service economy. Then we have political side. To this category, I've selected adaptive regulation via real-time policy sandboxes. This trend reflects a shift from static regulation to adaptive data-driven governance. Traditionally, regulation has been slow to change, often lagging behind technological innovation. What is emerging in early 2026 is the use of continuous regulatory sandboxes, real-time feedback, and iterative policy adjustments. This means regulation is no longer fixed. It evolves dynamically based on real-world outcomes. For example, AI systems can be tested under controlled conditions. Regulations can be adjusted based on performance data. For APO economies, this is critical because fast-moving technologies require faster regulatory response, and outdated regulation can become a bottleneck for productivity. Adaptive regulation allows governments to enable innovation, reduce uncertainty, and accelerate adoption of new technologies. However, it also introduces complexity. Regulatory predictability must be maintained, and oversight mechanisms must remain strong. The key policy challenge is balancing flexibility with stability, and if done correctly, this approach can significantly enhance both innovation and productivity. Finally, the last category is values, and to values side, I've selected productivity-linked well-being metrics. This trend reflects a fundamental shift in how productivity itself is defined. Traditionally, productivity has been measured purely in terms of output, often ignoring human factors such as stress, burnout, or cognitive load. In early 2026, organizations are beginning to integrate these factors into productivity metrics. This is based on growing recognition that unsustainable work practices reduce long-term productivity. For example, high burnout leads to lower performance and higher turnover. Cognitive overload reduces decision quality. By measuring well-being alongside output, organizations can firstly optimize performance sustainability and improve workforce retention, and also enhance long-term efficiency. And for APO economies, this is particularly relevant in high-growth sectors, in service industries, and in knowledge-intensive work. The challenge is measurement. So how do we quantify well-being reliably? How do we standardize metrics across sectors? Quite big challenges. And policy can support this shift by promoting balanced productivity indicators and also encouraging responsible workflows practices. This trend highlights that human sustainability is now a core component of productivity, not a secondary concern. That was the last of the 6 signals to each of the categories. Finally, we have here summary what these trends mean for APO member economies. So across these six productivity trends, what are the shared implications. Firstly, boosting competitiveness in a digital-first Asia. AI orchestration, autonomous optimization, and AI-native service models enable APO economies to increase output, scale services, and compete globally with fewer resources. Secondly, building resilience in the face of demographic and climate pressures. AI optimization, resource systems, and adaptive regulation help sustain productivity under environmental pressures, demographic shifts, and fast-changing technologies. And thirdly, shaping inclusive and trusted growth pathways. Workforce orchestration and well-being linked metrics highlight that sustainable productivity now depends on balancing efficiency, trust, and human performance. And we have also on the box at the bottom the key productivity opportunities by APO domain. Productivity first. So the emerging opportunity for it is the AI-driven orchestration and autonomous optimization unlocks continuous system level efficiency gains. Next is the tools and techniques, and the emerging opportunities. AI agents, digital optimization systems, and real-time data platforms enable faster diagnostics and adaptive decision making. And within public sector, the adaptive regulation and AI-enabled governance improve service delivery and reduce inefficiencies and support innovation. And in policy advisory, we have the scale and proven pilots. Yes, here we had the full set of the 6 signals and their key implications to industries across APO countries. So thank you from my side, and let's go forward.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kuosa, for that stimulating and very practical scan of the latest signals. So if I may, I would like then to proceed by asking you a follow-up question to help our audience translate these signals into what to do next, especially for the APO member economies. So the first question, among the 6 trends, which 2 do you think are most likely to create measurable productivity gains in Asia within, let's say, next 3 to 5 years? And if you could also explain the reason why behind that, please.
Yes, thank you for the question. Well, I would say that the autonomous process optimization agents, that has very big potential. Also, the AI optimized resource loops systems, that has large potential as well. As you can see from across the 6 signals, this time the AI topic was specifically largely emphasized. So AI enhancement in productivity, it's in general very big topical issue at the moment. The development in AI is very fast, so that's the reason I chose the AI optimization things mostly here. Like I said earlier, last time I had like the digital twin topic was more broadly emphasized. So the AI systems have been developing quite rapidly within the let's say past half year, and we are seeing new type of processes, capabilities for process optimization, and the agent-based models, the AI agent farms or AI agent services in general. These have very big capabilities, and one of the reasons why the AI agents have so strong capabilities is that they they hold some sort of memory capabilities. They have some capability of learning and maintaining the large set of information over time. So the autonomous process optimization with AI agents, that's one aspect where we could assume the AI is providing the biggest potential.
So my next question is the implication for the policymakers and also our counterpart, in this case, National Productivity Organization in our member countries. What is the most realistic sort of the first move to avoid reacting too late? Pilots, regulation, capability building, or maybe partnership? So your view on this, Dr. Kuosa?
Yeah, the first move that's naturally it's not self-evident, but I would say that the AI R&D projects planning, that's something which should be set in the very first stage, and also ensuring enough funding for such planning, and then once the project actually starts rolling, of course, the funding and the know-how and capabilities to carry out the project. All of these are naturally the required to start working with such AI developments.
So what are the typical readiness gaps that you see in data, talent, governance, budget, and maybe other than that, something that's another factors beyond that I mentioned before? And how should the government stage the adoption itself, do you think, Dr. Kuosa?
So productivity with acting based on right signals, that's one aspect I would say. So yeah, having exact thresholds for launching actions, prioritizing actions, setting responsibilities, agreeing about budgetary issues soon enough. So that sort of things I would emphasize within to reach the gap between the data and action in the government setting. So once we have identified some signals that have some productivity implications, we need to have capability to act upon fast enough. So proactivity is here the key. So how to bring the proactivity to the government setting, and as said, the thresholds, how to have the correct thresholds that launch the actions. So the prioritization of actions, that's one of the key aspects that needs to be set early enough.
I would like now to focus on a specific question related to maybe 3 among 6 trends that you mentioned before. I would like to start with trend number 1 on social. This trend, the one that you presented, highlights the rise of AI system that dynamically allocate tasks between humans and AI agent to optimize productivity at team or maybe organizational level. So the question is, if AI systems start orchestrating tasks across people and AI agents, so what kind of governance or operating model prevents black box management problem while still having certain impact on productivity improvement, Dr. Kuosa?
Yeah, naturally there would have to be a human team monitoring, discussing, and sharing information. So the black box management is obviously something to which we shouldn't allow the system to descend. So we should have people who have the knowledge of the AI system itself, understanding the parameters based on with which the system bases. So that's the technical side is one, but then having the, let's say, the policy side and understanding of the whole system from different sides. So human oversight, a team which is monitoring the case, discussing the requirements, and then monitoring the outcomes. So identifying early enough if there are some mismatches that the AI might start creating.
So trend number 2, allow me to shift on to the trend number 2 on autonomous process optimization agents. I think it was the AI agents that independently monitors, diagnose, and continuously improve business and public sector processes without manual interventions. The question about this is, where can APO economies pilot these type of autonomous optimizations safely? Procurement, licensing, manufacturing lines, call centers, and what are the guardrails are essential to avoid uncontrolled changes, do you think, Dr. Kuosa?
Yeah, that's a hard question. I would imagine that every country has some countries are not the same, so there are differences in between each of the countries. So it's very much a country specific question where such safe spaces where the trials could be taken. What is like what can we say, like what is very general across countries could be something like issues where there is no immediate threats for the citizens or service users. So where the outcome itself doesn't actually cause severe harm in any case. So that kind of project or theme area should be identified from each country.
On the AI optimized resource loop system, the question would be about, for the circle in relation to the environmental circularity and green productivity, what is the minimum data and infrastructure needed to optimize energy or material waste loops in real time, and which sector that best starting this initiative, do you think, Dr. Kuosa? This is maybe the last question that I would like to pose to you in this session.
Well, this is quite it's hard again to give any like exact minimum data infrastructure need indications. What we can say in general is that the circular economy itself, the green productivity within countries, naturally we need to understand where we are. What is the starting point? So that needs to be identified very well before starting the process. So monitoring, for example, what is the state of recycling within some sort of metals or with plastics or so on. So what is the starting point? That must be very clear, and then identified or understanding the system itself. So what kind of process is required to improve any of these circular economy aspects or green productivity aspects. So the system itself, the systemic understanding, And then when the AI optimization is adopted, then the monitoring of the process itself, what the AI system is actually suggesting. Perhaps modeling could help here. So not going directly to the outcomes that or not going directly to the suggestions of AI. So perhaps we could model first the suggestions of AI with the real-time data what we have, and once we get the modeled outcome for each of the systemic process, then we would be better off to make policy recommendations or decisions whether we should actually follow the suggestions made by the AI.
So thank you very much once again, Dr. Kuosa, for those valuable insights, and our sincere thanks as well to the audience, everyone who joined us today in these sessions. So as we close this quarter's P-Trend session, let us briefly reflect on what we have heard so far. This edition distilled 6 emerging productivity trends observed between January and March 2026 this year, spanning the social, technological, environmental, economic, political, and values domain. These trends were identified from thousands of signals and prioritized for their relevance to productivity outcomes and their applicability across Asia and the Pacific. So our main takeaways, I would say, if I would like to summarize these, that for APO member economies, the productivity agenda is becoming more intelligent, more adaptive, and more human-centered. First, economies will need to boost competitiveness in a digital-first Asia by scaling AI orchestration, autonomous optimization, and AI-native service model that can expand output, improve reach, and do more with fewer resources. Second conclusion that we could sort of bring up in this particular discussion is that APO member countries will need to build their resilience in the face of demographic and climate pressures through AI optimized resources system, and maybe also adaptive regulation that can help sustain productivity under this growing uncertainty that this environment is bringing us to. And the third, APO member economies need also to shape growth that is both inclusive and trusted by ensuring that efficiency gains or productivity gains are balanced with human performance, well-being, and more importantly, trust. So that is what will make productivity gains not only faster, but then more sustainable. So these are not the topic that we have discussed, the emerging trend that we have discussed are not distant or abstract possibility. There are practical signals already emerging across multiple domains, with important implications for how institutions, businesses, and governments think about competitiveness, resilience, and long-term productive performance. So we will continue to share our insights through APO's knowledge platform. So in the meantime, we warmly encourage you to share your reflection and question in the comments. Your feedback helps us sharpen the conversation and shape what we explore in the future sessions. So thank you so much once again for being us today, and we look forward to welcoming you to the next P-Trends session. Bye-bye.
Thank you.